Oh, the family's little princess.
She convinced your father.
What, again? Yes, my dear sister, of course, and who can be else? She always has to be the one. The smartest, the most successful, the most beautiful. I'm so tired of it. I don't even want to hear her name anymore.
Honey, you shouldn't...
Wait, do you know what I did for this Christmas?
What?
I wrote a letter about her and put it in the blackest sock I could find. Then hung it on the wall.
It's not like you, baby.
I know, it's childish, yes.
I think it's dangerous.
No, it's just superstition, of course. I just hate her perfection.
Honey, are you okay? What happened? Levia?
The snowflakes piled up on the sidewalk like white feathers, suddenly lifted and mingled with those falling from the sky. White smoke covered the fallen object. Levia, breathing rapidly on the phone and trying to shake off the sudden fear that gripped her. As the white smoke dissipated, the dark red stain that covered the sidewalk became more pronounced. Blood. It had tainted all the innocent white on the ground. Warm blood. As it flowed like small streams, it evaporated the snow and filled the air with mist. When Levia started to recognize familiar patterns in the shallow mist, her phone had already fallen and shattered on the ground. Her hand was trembling, and the shocking effect of what she had just witnessed was slowly taking over her entire body. She couldn't move. As the mist cleared, she noticed the body on the ground, and the pattern on the pajamas was all too familiar. It was her husband. No, it couldn't be. The impact had shattered his body, scattering it on the sidewalk. Perhaps it wasn't him. Maybe it was someone else wearing the same pajamas. Levia struggled to lift her eyes, and then her head upwards. She gazed at the little chaotic nest she had lived in for years. She counted the floors one after another to be sure. 17, 18, 19, 19th floor. That was the floor where Levia and her husband lived. The windows of the apartment were broken, and the curtains were dancing with the cold wind outside. Levia couldn't believe it. She gathered herself and, with a burst of energy, ran towards the building. She couldn't wait for the elevator. She rushed to the stairs. Her heart felt like it was going to burst out of her chest. No, it couldn't be her husband. With every step, the memories of the past 3 years replayed in her mind. She thought of the unhappy home and the loving man. The echoes of the fights at home resonated in her ears with each step. The fact that she had buried the love of a good man in darkness with her own hands echoed through her with every heartbeat. Her beloved husband. It couldn't be him. Overwhelmed by regrets pouring out of her body and with tears in her eyes, she reached the door of her home. She shivered as she turned the key and pushed the door open. The cold air hit her face like a slap. The inside of the house was dark and cold. The broken glass shards on the floor reflected the flickering, colorful lights on the ornate Christmas tree in the corner. The curtains swayed in the wind through the broken windows. Levia clung to the door, breathless. Her silent tears turned into deep sobs. Was it really him lying on the pavement? Her beloved husband? Levia took crooked steps towards the broken window. She wanted to turn back time and hold him in her arms, but it was too late. When she reached the middle of the room, all the colorful lights suddenly went out. The faint light of a small red bulb at the bottom of the tree started to flicker. Levia slowly turned her head. Under the bulb, she noticed a box made of twigs. She headed towards the tree. She picked up the box. It had a dirty piece of paper attached to it. "For my dear jealous cake." Levia collapsed onto the couch. Her body was still trembling. A whisper of darkness rose from the corner.
"Open it, it's for you."
Levia froze. Her heart felt like it was about to burst. Her eyes were rapidly moving, trying to find who was speaking. Suddenly, in the corner, behind the darkened tree, a pair of red eyes appeared and repeated,
"Open it."
Levia involuntarily dropped the box with great fear. The thing inside the box fell onto the rug. She slowly turned her gaze from the terrifying red eyes to that thing. She struggled to swallow. She felt like she might faint. A mask. No, a face. Her sister. The thing that clung to the rug was her sister's face. The red eyes began to whisper again.
"Yes, my jealous cake. This is for you. What you've always wanted. What you've desired. What you've envied. Your dear, beloved, successful sister's beauty. All yours. Only yours. I took it. just as you wanted. My dear jealous cake. Don't be afraid. Take it. Take it from the ground.
Levia found herself reaching for the rug and her sister's face without even knowing what she was doing. She had to take it. This gift. This horrifying and terrifying gift. She trembled, struggling to hold it. She looked at her sister in her hands.
I hope you liked my gift, just as you wrote in your letter. I can't stand her success and beauty anymore. I wish all of this had been given to me, just as you wanted. Your sister's beauty has been given to you. Of course, gifts are not given without something in return, my jealous cake. In return for your desire, I took something from you.
From the dark corner behind the tree, a hand reached towards the light coming through the window. Covered in hair, filthy and long fingers, it held a beating heart.
Your dear husband. Come, the others are waiting.
The last thing Levia heard was the sound of wet footsteps, and the last thing she saw was the disgusting cloth that covered her.